What's up, everyone? Here we are again, another week, another podcast. We're now up to episode number 6 of the Justin Insight podcast, so they've been coming thick and fast, which I'm really happy about. As always, my name is Tim Beck. I am a writer, I am a lover of films, music and wrestling, but most importantly, I am your body and vehicle through this podcast. Before we get into this week's episode, just want to say a massive thank you for all the feedback for the Elimination Chat episode that I did with Callan. Shows that people are actually out there listening to it and actually into what we're doing. So I'm really thankful for that. So thanks again. As always, I like to start these shows with a little rundown of what I've been up to over the past week. And mainly it's kind of consisted of going to a couple of gigs. So I went to see Touche Amore and Angel Dust in Brighton, and the review will be up shortly on alreadyheard.com. So if you want to head over there and see my thoughts. I mainly went and saw Angel Dust for this show, but as always, Touche Amore are just incredible live, and it just seems like even after the fourth album, they're just tighter than ever, and yeah, they were just pretty rad. And then I went up to London, saw my best friend, and we went and saw the 10th anniversary show of 4 Years Strong's Rise or Die Trying album. It was a pretty cool show, but me and my friend, we were saying on the way back, it was almost like they rushed through the record they were there to play, just to kind of show off the stuff at the end. It was a bit surreal, but all in all, it was a pretty cool show. But the main highlight of my week, which if any of you follow me on any kind of social media platform, you'll already have seen this, but I got the opportunity to meet Double J Jeff Jarrett to talk all things Impact Wrestling, what the future holds for the company, and well, it wouldn't give too much away, but the way that things are kind of shaping up and rumours spreading around what's going to kind of happen to that company in general. For me, it was obviously a massive thing being a huge wrestling fan. It was cool to meet Jeff in person, and he was a really, really nice guy. But yeah, you'll be able to read my interview soon with Double J in an upcoming issue of the Steel Chair magazine. So again, just keep an eye out on all social medias and it'll be up there. Anyway, right, down to business for this week's podcast. And my guests are two members of the post-hardcore band from Wales / Kent, Rope. If you're not aware of Rope, then they are incredible. They're probably one of my favourite UK bands at the moment. They just bring that something a little bit different. There's been sort of comparisons to bands like Self Defense Family, which you can kind of see in there. But every time I've seen them live, they've just absolutely killed it. So always a pleasure to see those guys. Kai and Luke from the band were kind enough to have a little chat with me before the first show of their tour with Modern Rituals, which was in Southampton a week or so ago. We had to record it in Kai's car because there was nowhere quiet in the venue, so sorry if the sound quality is not the best, but had to deal with the cards that was given to me. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the little chat that I had with Kai and Luke about Rope and everything they've got coming up in the future, and I will see you on the other side. So I am currently joined by Kai and Luke, which are 2/3 of the band Rope. We're sat in Kai's car because it's the only place we could find that was quiet outside the venue. Is it first date with Modern Rituals?
It is our first date with Modern Rituals. I feel like I should say Luke, we're half.
Half. Oh, sorry, because Lee as well, isn't there?
Lee definitely counts. He wouldn't let me get away without mentioning him.
Right. I think that's a good place to start with, because I've seen you guys 3 times now, and never with Lee.
Okay.
So
sick.
So
okay. He'll like that.
What's his role in the band?
Well, basically, like when I started doing the band, I had songs, and I sent Josh and Lee a message being like, let's record. Well, basically, me and Josh recorded them, just the two of us, and I overdubbed bass, and then I sent it to Lee, and he was like, yeah, let's do this. And he comes to the first practice, we teach him what bits of songs we've got, and he goes on his phone and is like, oh, Alex Truthseeker's going to put us out. Like, after being in first practice for an hour, so it was really, asked Lee to do it, and then he did it. but he can't do anything because
Yeah.
he's got a kid and like real life sort of stuff.
So is he second guitar, I'm assuming?
No. So when Lee plays bass, and when Lee can't play, Luke plays.
Okay, so you're reserve.
Well, yeah. Well, no, that's how it kind of started.
And then when Luke can't play and Lee can play, we play with just Lee.
Okay.
And then when Lee and Luke can both play, we play with a second guitar, and Luke plays second guitar.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
I just have to remember like 2 sets worth of stuff
Yeah.
for any given opportunity.
So I'm going to go a bit over old ground, because obviously I met yourself, Kai, in Good Time Boys, and Luke back in Casa. So how did obviously the progression from that become Rope? Because obviously I know you did obviously Hunger Artist in the interim, and Luke became a teacher. So yeah, how did everything kind of come about?
Well, I started when I hadn't spoken to Luke in a sort of a year or so, or maybe even a bit more, and I just sent him a message being like, yo man, I'm living down in Kent now because I'm training to be a teacher. Sent him an email because I had deleted Facebook, and that would have been my only way to get hold of him, not having his number. I sent him an email, and he posted straight back like, oh, well, I'm training to be a teacher too, so let's hang out. So we hung out a bit, and then decided that doing something musically would be cool. And I also had this thing going on with Rope, and so I was like, why don't you start playing second guitar in Rope and doing bass when Lee can't do it?
Yeah.
And it all just sort of kind of came from there, didn't it? Like,
So obviously, because I think the band was already formed before you kind of tagged
Yeah,
in,
yes,
wasn't it?
they had recorded that first record even before I got involved, and I really liked that record. So.
Yeah. And kind of logistically, obviously, I thought you were still in Wales, but obviously you said you're now in Kent.
Yeah.
Luke, you're in Brighton.
Yeah.
Josh is still in
back in
Wales.
Bridgend.
Yeah. So, and where's Lee?
Bridgend still
yeah,
as well.
Bridgend.
So how do you kind of get to do like practices, or is it a case of just as and when?
We've got basically a new record, of which I think Lee has probably played with us maybe 2 or 3 songs.
What, like recorded or
no? So I think we wrote like we demoed it not long ago, but me, Lee, and Josh wrote and recorded 3 new songs in a practice, and then Luke, we sort of sent the songs to Luke, and he added like extra guitar bits, and I can't remember what
we tend to practice in like fractions.
Yeah.
So like they'll practice in the 3-piece, then we'll practice the 3-piece with me over in Brighton. A lot of kind of just trusting everyone remembers their parts at the time, kind of thing.
So
but it's worked out well so far.
Yeah.
I don't think that we'll be in the same room before. I don't think the 4 of us will be in the same room before we record.
Okay.
So what's going to happen?
So it's for the new record this year.
Yeah. So we're recording the end of March with Lewis, and we got to go in and play live, and we won't have been. The plan is for me to go down and show Lee this new stuff with Josh, practice with him, get him super tight. Luke's already pretty tight because he's been in charge of most of the demoing process, so he knows all the songs pretty well. And we've got like an email with just various states of different songs
of course,
that we're all familiarising ourselves with, but it's like we probably won't be together, the 4 of us, until the day we go in and get in a room and record. So, and
Luke, from your kind of perspective, like as you said, when there is the 4 of you, you're doing second guitar, but obviously apart from doing bass. So is it weird for you, like when you are as a 4, to kind of switch, or is it just become quite used to it?
As I've been a reluctant bassist now for years.
Oh yeah, because you played bass in Casa.
I was always a guitarist, and I was like, I guess I'll play a bit of bass. But I've played bass now in more bands than I played guitar. I'm kind of just settling into it a little bit. So when we get to play and I get to play bass, like I really enjoy it. Yeah. But yeah, I find the guitar so much smaller on me now. It's weird. I find that bit weird, but I enjoy the difference between. Yeah. It keeps me on my toes.
Have you done any shows as a 4?
Yeah.
A few?
Yeah.
Maybe like
here
we
and
did
there.
a show with we did a tour with Human Future, And I was really happy about this. We played 3 shows, all 3 shows with a different lineup. So Luke couldn't do the London show, so we played it. No, Lee couldn't do the London show, so we played it just me, Luke, and Josh. All 3 of us could play the Bristol show, so we did it, the 4 of us, and then Luke went back after the Bristol show, and there was a Cardiff show, and we played just me, Lee, and Josh. So for the 3 days, there were 3 different lineups. Yeah, so,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and
it was fun.
One thing that obviously kind of stands out with you guys, because obviously through sort of meeting friends in different bands, obviously everyone kind of comes together to support each other in different sort of music genres. But obviously, as I said, like Kai, I knew you from Good Time Boys, which was kind of that sort of more sort of like emotive hardcore sort of stuff. Casa was like screamo, punky sort of stuff. But obviously, Rope is completely different to either of those bands. And obviously, song length is quite a distinctive thing of your guys. So when you come to recording, is it just like you jam something out and then it progresses into a song, or does someone come up with an idea and it goes from there?
Well, everything that we do, I kind of go being like, I've got this bit, and then I'll jam it with Josh and it turns into like the part of the song. But like there's loads of bits of the record that only now exist as the number of times that we play something. For example, like there's a bit in the first song of them there where we just play a bit, just an indiscriminate amount, and I think every time we play it differently. And like we kind of follow what's on the record, but we kind of don't. And like I think loads of the record actually showed us how many times to play stuff. That kind of thing. So we now like play to how the record is structured, but before that we would never have said like let's play this 16 times. Just sort of we play it until Josh does a specific fill, and then we come out of it again, don't we? You know? Yeah.
And like I mentioned before, obviously you and Josh were doing Hunger Artist as well.
Yeah.
So I think we've spoken about this before, like probably the last time I saw you. But was Rope basically an evolution of Hunger Artist?
Yes, yeah, definitely. At least 3 of the 4 songs on the of the 6. Oh fuck! Hang on, I'm gonna turn this off. Can I call you later? Look at that, beautiful.
Right. The beauty of an iPhone.
Yeah, no, isn't it? It's still getting used to it. At least half of that first Rope record is songs that we'd written, just me and Josh together, kind of assuming that it was going to be called Hunger Artist, because it's the best band name that exists, and I just wanted to be in a band that was called that. And but then we were like, oh well, it kind of has like all those heavy sort of connotations or whatever for 17 people who heard Hunger Artist before, so let's not use it. So we decided that we were going to put like some of the songs that we'd written to be more Hunger Artist stuff into Rope. The Perks of Being was going to be Hunger Artist. Ignatius was actually going to be on that Good Time, on that the Good Time Boys album that we kind of started writing before I left.
Oh, okay.
That ended up being Rain.
Okay,
so, like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's like, so I took that song to practice in Good Time Boys, and we sort of got like a small amount into fleshing it out into a song, and then I left.
Yeah.
And they never were like, we're gonna use that song. I was just like, well, I'll just do that song on my own. I just wrote some lyrics to it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like, I can't remember the question.
like you mentioned when you kind of brought Lee into it,
Yeah.
and then just after the first practice, was he Truth Seeker were kind of showing interest straight away?
Well, not even showing interest straight away. Lee literally, between songs, like in practice, still with his bass around his neck, stood there on his iPhone, having a conversation on the internet, and was just like, "Oh, Alex is going to put us out."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, like Alex Truth Seeker," and he was like, "Yeah," and he was like, and I was like, "Whoa, sweet!"
Yeah.
Like that was the first time he came and practiced with us, and ergo the first time that we really did anything as a band, because up until that point it had just been me and Josh playing in Josh's living room, you know.
But we like, because obviously the album obviously came out with Truth Seeker and everything, and I remember seeing like when it first came out there was quite a push for it as well. So was that something that you consciously wanted to do, or is it just the way that obviously Truth Seeker as a label wanted to
a push
work?
for the record? Or?
Yeah, like like obviously when it came out, just like it kind of popped up everywhere and things like that.
Well, like, I don't know. I think it's a very noticeable album cover.
Yeah.
So like, I think lots of what made me think that was a good cover was just like, I don't think that anyone will look at a piece of album art that looks like that and not remember that they have seen it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not why I chose. You know, that's not why I thought it should be on the record. It's just a sick photo. But, like, if I saw a record that looks like that, and it said like this sounds like, and like it said like some of the bands that people say we sound like Lungfish or Shellac or whatever, then fucking I would be like, I'm gonna buy that. That's a piece of cool, and why not? You know? You see what I mean? So.
And another thing that obviously is kind of more for you, Kai, because obviously you live in Brighton and grew up in Cornwall, but there's quite a lot of sort of emphasis on Welsh within the record.
Yeah. Well,
so is that just you being a proud Welshman, or is it something that you wanted to do a little bit different?
Well, Lee and Josh and myself are all like huge rugby fans, and that's probably our main expression of our national consciousness in Wales, you know, like, and basically there's loads of stuff that I thought would be cool to put on in terms of like Welsh rugby, about our culture. There's a song on the record that's kind of about growing up in Wales with all the industry closing down and stuff, and then when I suggested calling the record The Perks of Being, Lee was like, well, why don't we call it whatever the Welsh is for the Perks of Being? And that was what we did. So it was cool. But I think it's a really, like, I know that Luke feels the same about Cornwall. Like, it's a really important thing for me anyway to make the distinction between being from Wales and being from England or being from the United Kingdom. Like, I often get it when I'm like talking German to people and whatever, and they call me an Englander doing England, and I'm like, man, I'm not English. I always go to great pains to be like, I'm from Wales. If I'm in America, they're like, oh, are you English? And I'm like, no, I'm Welsh. Like, you know, and I think Luke would probably do the same with. Well, it's weird with Cornwall, isn't it? Like,
kind of, but I mean,
it is obviously England,
with the forgotten ones.
Well, because I went. When was it? Like May last year. I went and hung out with like Mikey and that.
Yeah,
and
his aunts.
Yeah, and like, it's kind of not a country, but it's like a place within its own, isn't it? Like, everyone's so proud of being from Cornwall.
Oh, most certainly, yeah, and. It's kind of hard not to be.
Yeah. It's such a cool place to go, I've got to say. I've lost my train of thought. Oh, no, right, that's what I was going to ask. Obviously, I know you're a teacher. I've pretty much known you as a teacher for quite a few years, but it's only recently I actually realised that you're a teacher as well.
I am, yeah.
So, kind of, obviously, because I've got friends that are teachers like nearby as well. How do you kind of work, obviously, like a touring schedule around teaching? Because obviously I know that taking holidays is obviously not exactly ideal.
No,
so
we
how
pretty
do you work
much have half term.
Yeah.
Conveniently I have like 1 week off, 2 weeks off throughout the year, which is quite.
Yeah. So is it literally like if you've got a half term you can fit a tour in?
However, on this very tour, at which we are at the start of, Luke and I have different half terms.
Oh, okay.
And so Luke is
all that stuff.
So is this because like one's an academy, or is it just the way that things are done?
It's county things.
Oh, okay.
So I'm teaching West Sussex. So
yeah.
Different half term.
Oh, right. Okay.
So Luke's only playing today and tomorrow, and then Harry's playing bass for the rest of the week until next Saturday when Luke's going to come and do.
Yeah.
So we're going to play 4 shows with Harry. So.
And because what levels do you teach?
Secondary to 6th form.
And do you
I think both of us as well.
Yeah, secondary.
So do you have any like pupils that like know your band or have checked out your band?
If you look, right, this is fucking this is really funny. And if any of them are listening, then I'm really sorry that I swore. If you look at some of the Good Time Boys videos that we recorded in the RAN, underneath it says the guy in the black hoodie is my German teacher.
No way!
Oh yeah. And if you type my name into Google, this isn't something that you do all the time. Like, but someone was like, "Oh, you should find yourself on Rate My Teacher." Because they've all written all this hilarious stuff on there about you, and I was like, "Oh my god," I'm like, I don't want to talk about it really because it's strange.
Because you're a music teacher, aren't you, Luke?
Yeah.
So surely there's got to be some kind of they've got to check out your music. If
I don't know, I don't sing about it at school. Well, not literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, could they ask sometimes?
But they must know that you're in a.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They see it in how tired I am mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tend not to mention it that much. Really.
No, that's
no.
I guess
I don't know. I think 1 or 2 of them have picked up.
Yeah.
And they might have in the background checked out, but.
So would it be weird if they just turned up like wearing a rope t-shirt on like non-school uniform day sort of thing?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, you've kind of already started demoing the new record and things. So is it? Is there much of an evolution, or is it kind kind of
piano in this one?
Oh, is there? Who's played piano? There you go.
Kind of as well.
So what's kind of obviously apart from the writing style, but is there anything different in lyrics or different musically wise?
I think lots of the lyrics kind of follow lots of the same. Talk about similar sort of things. I think musically it's got some stuff on it that it kind of doesn't really sound like what we've sounded like so far, but I don't think anyone would expect from what our first record sounds like, the sort of complete range of things that it sounds like. I don't think anyone's like, I don't think we've put ourselves in any box with that record, I think with that record, from the back of that record, like we could go anywhere because there's loads of stuff on there.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like you can drill down into any of about 7 or 8 different cool sounds on that record, and I think we've done a little bit of that. And there's a song that sounds quite a lot like the Beatles.
Okay, that'd be pretty cool.
A song that sounds like a song that sounds loads like Nick Cave.
Yeah, it's got this. Well, we demoed it for 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my hand cramped up so
Jesus.
bad. Because it's just this one repetitive bass. 4 notes for 9 minutes. To the point my hand started spasming. And that's why we ended the song.
I
physically could not play it any longer. So yeah, I look forward to recording that one.
Brilliant. And apart from obviously recording the new album, and this is kind of the first date with Modern Rituals, have you got any other touring plans or anything else for the rest of the year?
Hopefully going to Germany in April. We've got 4/5 shows over 8 days booked, and like if I can get maybe another one along the way that sort of fits into the routing, then it's viable to go and have a couple of days off and spend
time in
8
Europe.
days in Easter driving around Europe and flipping. So we're going to do that. Apart from that, we have no real plans for summer yet. I'd really like to go to Europe on a sort of proper tour. I'd like to get to, be able to play in Europe a bit more. We've only done sort of dribs and drabs, but have plans to do other cool touring stuff, but I suppose we'll just see what happens, because, one thing that happens, because everyone's so friendly in the sort of circles that you move in, like lots of things get sort of said that kind of like
I know that very too well.
You realise that they're pipe dream, that they're complete pipe dreams. You know, that it's just like, oh, why don't blah 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 blah. And if 1/10 of the things that people say they're going to do in those scenarios were actually followed through on, then we'd have a ridiculous ridiculous amount of stuff going on.
It's like the band that I'm in. We were planning to go over to Europe in next month, but just, the whole thing just ended up falling through, just because, as you say, it's one of these pipe dream sort of things. But no, I think that's pretty much a nice note to end it on.
Cool.
So thank you very much, guys.
No, thank you.
For you, Luke, enjoy your 2 days and Kai, enjoy the tour.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Tim.
So there you have it, another episode in the bag. Again, a massive thank you to Kai and Luke for taking the time out to have a little chat with me right before they went on stage in Southampton. Really interesting to hear about how those guys make things work despite living in different parts of the UK and their jobs as well. Obviously, Kai and Luke both being teachers. So if you're either of their students and you're listening to this episode of the podcast, give them a shout out for just being awesome dudes. The guys have just been announced to be playing Dead Punk in Bristol on May the 6th. So if you're about the area, go check them out. And as always, you can keep up to date with them on various social media platforms. On Facebook, it's Facebook.com/Rope Band UK. Instagram is The Band Rope, and Twitter is @TheBandRope. Also, if you want to check the guys out, you can do that over at Bandcamp. It's thebandrope.bandcamp.com. As ever, you can get in touch with myself over on Twitter @just_and_insight using the hashtag JAIPod, or email me at just_and_insight@hotmail.co.uk. Next week, I guess it's going to be a little bit different than usual. So far, obviously, we've had bands and wrestling chats. I'm going to be speaking to the man who is behind Ritual Festival in Leeds, Dan Vaughan. Dan's going to give us a lowdown on the festival and kind of his aspirations of where he wants to take it in the future. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that one next week. But for now, thanks again for listening to the Just an Insight podcast, and I will see you soon.